Great. Okay. So I know we're waiting for a few people to come on, but I did want to show you just a couple of kind of resources before we get started. This is our call for listings to leads, and I'm going to show you some of the new stuff happening. But there's a lot right now. You know, the market's changing. We're still having a lot of success. Our clients are having a lot of success capturing leads, marketing, advertising, building brand. And so that's really the point of the call, is to show everybody this. But while we're kind of hanging out and hopefully we'll get some people back, I want to kind of point out the resources that we have for you. There's one here is the mastermind group. This is a private group on Facebook. You can't find it unless we've invited you into it. And the way to get invited is to log into your listings to leads and go to the support tab and ask them to bring you in. We're going to be announcing, and we have been announcing all year, new technology that we're adding to the platform. We just added a link 2 days ago, so you have like a bio link for Instagram that has links to your favorite lead capture. So you could show your listings, you could show PDF guides, you can even attach landing pages to Instagram. So it'll be in your bio, so you can have more lead capture there. But also, just in general, as new technology is coming, you're going to see it. There are questions that are being raised by other agents. And also, you're going to see our recorded webinars. So we do 4 live training calls every week. And you're always invited. I'm going to show you where you can sign up for those in just a moment. But if you can't make that call because your schedule doesn't allow, you can always come right in here and see what was on the previous day. And I also want to point out as another resource, leadgenwebinars.com. Which, as I mentioned, we have a few calls we have 2 calls every week. And here we can see top tools to get more listings. Get started as if you're just getting started with the system. And then Facebook, how to use Facebook to get both buyers and sellers. I do want to point out or mention now, we're about to announce the addition of Google Ads. And we're also working right now on TikTok. But I think it's really early for TikTok, but for Google, we're just about to launch. There's a lot of great lead capture with Google. It's more expensive than Facebook, but it does have a lot of real serious value. So we're about to push that and make that live. So this is a great resource, leadgenwebinars.com. And I'm going to send this to all of you who are on here. If you happen to be hearing this as a as a recording, you can always go there to leadgenwebinars.com.
China was saying that they're going to have one big party before the end of summer too.
And one last place, and then Robert, let me know. I'm not seeing more people come on, but let me know.
You can. There are a few people who are in on this in the same room on the call, so you can get started whenever you want.
Okay. So we'll just sort of carry on. I'm gonna show you one more thing. So YouTube, we have our own channel on YouTube, and again, if you are can't make our calls, right? Can't fit our live training into your schedule. Just go right over to listings to leads on YouTube, and you'll see that we have a channel and that you can see all of our recent videos. They're right here. And I actually really recommend that everybody kind of gets their arms around our platform. You're going to see a bunch of testimonials, people saying how it's working for them right now. But you'll see our recorded webinars, get started, top tools to get more listings, and Facebook. And these are the things, once you've seen like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these, you will understand it kind of gets repetitive around that point. And then we can kind of get on it. So let's get into the mastermind group. And I want to excuse me, show you I'm going to start with a question that was raised by an agent a couple of years ago, which was Terry Wicks. And she asked this question as she was sort of new to us, and she asked it to all of our clients, like, who here gets 2 listings a month strictly from listings to leads? And what do you do? What do you attribute that to? And a bunch of agents jumped in, right, to say, hey, this is what's going on. But I'm going to point out just this one, and then we'll kind of get into the system. He says, we average 2 listings from each marketed listing, all from listings to leads, Facebook ads, mailers, and open houses. Trying to get that to above 3 this year. So what that means is every time this guy gets a listing, he markets it with our platform and he gets a few more listings, right? He gets 2 or 3 more listings. One thing about Dustin is he is from a large office, kind of like yours, actually much larger than yours. And he was a rookie when we signed their office up. He had been an agent for 2 years. He was doing 5 million in production annually, and went in the next 2 years, went from 5 to 20 million, and told us that 80% of his business was coming from our tools, from the tools he just listed, the kind of the ads, the letters for the market, and open houses. And that was it. And I was so blown away to hear that he had gone from 5 to 20. I had to ask him, like, how much time are you putting into our system to do that, right? And he said 2 hours a week. So 2 hours a week, because I drop my daughter off and I put her in ballet. And while she's in ballet, I go next door to Starbucks and I do this work, right? And I think anybody can do that, frankly. I think a lot of our clients, even today, are just getting more listings, lots of ways to get buyers, lots of ways to build your brand, and essentially grow your business. So what I want to talk about today is just a few of the new things that we've added, and then I want to focus on how to help you get more listings right now. So you'll see a tab down here on the left-hand side. It says follow-ups. This is, now I think you've all got a CRM. Is that correct, Robert? Are you using all the same CRM?
Yeah, that's correct. Some agents use their own CRM, but we provide a CRM to all the agents.
Okay. And if you're an agent that feels like, you haven't configured that right, we just added our own follow-up system for both buyers and sellers. Not like a CRM, because a CRM can do a whole lot more than this, but it's a really solid drip campaign that we launched in January that's already closed listing leads into listing contracts for our clients this year. So we're pretty excited about that. But you do have your own CRM. Just make sure it's configured on your profile so that all your leads go there. We also added this, which is called social. It's our social tab. But this is social content. And so this is content, not so much for lead capture, but just for kind of, keeping your social media platforms looking fresh with real estate related content. So when you come here the first time, it's going to ask you to connect to your social media account, your business page. Then it's going to ask you, how often would you like for us to publish? And you might want to publish every day or every other day. I like to just publish on Fridays. And then the next question is, what do you want us to publish? And you can see that there's a lot here, a lot of different topics about homes, outdoor living, just real estate related stuff. Again, we're not trying to capture leads here. We're trying to keep your social media platforms looking not neglected. If you click on the eyeball, you're going to see all of the articles that we have written. And so this is sort of a thing that you can kind of set and forget. You don't have to mess with it once you turn it on. You just choose the topics that you want us to publish for you, set your date, connect your social media account, and boom, it's happening. A new thing that's on here, which was I mentioned it earlier when we were looking at the mastermind group, is also, this is for people, it's called link in bio. This is really set up for Instagram. And so you can add these kinds of links in your bio, right? So you could show your recent listings as a link. You can choose a PDF guide, and I'll show you our PDF guides a little bit later, that people can download. And then also, if you want to show a home valuation page, again, this is all meant to just be built as a link inside of your Instagram profile. So for those of you focused on Instagram, that can work. So as I mentioned, since a few people have gotten on, I am going to be talking about how to get listings here. And you can always, if you don't want to see our live classes, or if I'm going too fast, you can go to listings to leads inside YouTube and watch the top tools to get listings. But that's what we're going to cover here and what's working right now. So to get listings, there's kind of a few tools in the listing section. There are tools in the ad section. And then of course there are landing pages. Okay. But really you can, if you focus on what I'm going to show you today, it should help you out pretty well. So if we look at the statuses, your listings hit our system automatically when they're active. And I know that homes sell quickly. And so it will be good for you to know that when our homes are sold, or when your homes are sold, all of our call to actions flip from getting buyers to getting listings. I'm going to show you examples of that as we go. Anything later stage, under contract, pending, sold, active contingent. These are all later stages where we're not looking for buyers anymore. If it's early stage, like open house or just listed, well, those are all designed to get buyers, and that's a really simple way to get buyers. You just run an ad, and that's the easiest way to get buyers. But when it comes to getting listings, you can still market a home that's early stage. And I want to show you, because I've got an open house here. And there are a couple of tools that we create that will help you get listings. One is, the number one tool is the nearby homeowner letter. Okay. Also, the seller's social media is going to help you, and I'll walk you through these. I just want to sort of give you a high level real quickly. And then the e-flyer for your database. These are three tools that I think are really effective. Let's start with the most effective. And of all of our tools, this tool here is the number one tool that gets listing leads that turn into listing contracts. Okay. So let's download it. Let's look at what we're talking about here. So it's a print letter. It's, when we download it, it's literally a piece of paper, right? And so there's a little bit of work involved in this. And you can imagine, now we're going to about to announce a way to automate this, but it's strange that the hardest tool is the one with the highest quality leads. But today that's how it is. But I'm gonna show you how we're about to automate this in about the next 2 weeks. This is called the nearby homeowner letter. In this case, we're marketing an open house. And what we're going to be doing here is just saying, hey, we've got an open house from 1 to 4. Take this piece of paper into your house, go to that web address and become a buyer lead. Right beneath it, it's going to say when that home is sold, that's going to affect your home value. So go to this web address and get your free home value. Now you may recognize this kind of home valuation landing page. You drop in your address, you give us your email address, and we're going to give you a home value. We of course deliver that to you automatically. Previously, and I think for many years, many agents would take a page like this and run an ad on Facebook. And that's become less and less effective, although I will tell you a way to make this effective again on Facebook. But let's just kind of focus on what is going on right now, which is if you get this into the market, what we're really doing is you're getting it into a neighborhood, ideally the people around this house, right? And a lot of our clients will download 100 or 200. Some will door knock, some will mail them, some will do bulk mail, some will do super custom envelopes, right? Brightly colored, because they don't want it to get thrown away with a junk mail. The reason they go through all this, and today they're actually hand downloading this and printing and stuffing their own envelopes, is because they get more listings with this. A lot of our clients will use this letter when a home is just listed, and again on the same property when it's just sold, because the letter is so effective at getting listings. And some will do open house and just sold. It's your choice. You can use it once, but the more often you use it, obviously, the better it gets for you. I'm going to take us over to the mastermind group and show you something kind of recent related to this letter. Now, again, I mentioned that you should get in the mastermind group. This guy here, Chris, came in a couple summers ago and was all excited. He's like, hey, I just got 5 listings in 3 months with one tool. You're near my homeowner letter, right? The letter I just showed you. And I want to kind of point this out because he really gives a great formula or recipe on how you make that work. And what he says is, excuse me, he says, I send that letter out every other week to neighbors who have owned their homes for 5 years or more. Now that list of who owns homes for 5 years or more, currently he's getting from Remind, but there are other companies that sell that, but that's just worth knowing, okay? He's getting a list of homeowners in his neighborhood with equity. He says, once they opt in on the home value piece, I hit them up every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. So this is the letter he's talking about. And what I want to let you know is when Chris put that message in our mastermind group, he had just moved to San Antonio, Texas from out of state. He was a realtor, but he kind of had to get re-registered in Texas, signed up with a new office, started borrowing listings, and then getting this letter into the market and applying it just like he said here. He bought a list of Remind and he moved into this great neighborhood. So he decided, I want to own that neighborhood, right? I want to be the realtor. So he does make a super cool video, and that's, you know, that's definitely good. But this right here is what's also really, you know, the strategy of what makes that letter work. Get a list of people with equity, mail that thing out consistently, and then follow up on the leads that actually take that letter in their house, go to their own computer, type in that web address, and ask for their home value. These are high quality leads, much higher quality than capturing an online lead somewhere. So one last thing about Chris, and we'll move on. That was 2 years ago when he announced that, and he was super excited. Now, in February of this year, he's actually starting his own office, and he was the top listing agent in his office, and he is using our platform and doing training videos to help him recruit. It's actually a great video. If you want more listings, I recommend you go check out what this video is saying. He's telling how he is customizing our tools to get even more listings with it, right? So if you're in the, if you want more listings in your business, that video is worth watching. So that's a nearby homeowner letter. It's available on every listing, even if you borrow the listing, regardless of what status, okay? Now, the next tool that's really important to use, which we send to you automatically, is called the seller social media post. Now, we've kind of rewritten the letter a little bit, but it is something, you know, personally, I don't like giving tools to agents, especially if they've got to read directions. And that one actually has a few lines of directions. And what it's telling you is, hey, take this letter and forward it to your homeowner, call them for 5 seconds and tell them to put it on their wall, right? This is what it looks like when a property is sold. It says our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job. And here is your phone number and email automatically in front so that all my friends and family can see this. So when you get this letter, forward it, wipe out the instructions that we're giving you, send it to your client and ask, and just give them a quick call and say, hey, I know you get 100 messages a day. Would you just put this one up on your wall? Now, this is designed and delivered to you as soon as the home is just listed. So if you use it just listed, and if you do an open house, we also have one for open house. We also have one for when it's under contract. But then right here, when it's just sold, it's basically a straight up testimonial. Now, you can see that there's a hyperlink there and there's a picture there. So when they're putting it on their wall, let me kind of put this on the wall real quickly. I'll put it on mine. It's a little bit maybe confusing because my name is Vincent Meza and this is talking about me, Vincent Meza. But when you're putting it on, when your client is putting it on your Facebook wall, on their Facebook wall, their friends and family and colleagues are going to see that. And you may not know this, but we've been doing this for 13 years now. And our clients, the reason we're here and we keep growing is because our clients love all the leads that they're getting and all the ways of marketing, but they actually prefer referrals, right? A referral is great. So this is a great way to get a referral, is just saying, hey, here's a recommendation of my realtor for all my friends and family on Facebook to see, right? So I definitely recommend that you open those messages when we send them to you. Just follow the quick instructions, forward to your client, give them a 5-second phone call. When you're talking about your listing presentation, you may not know this, but if you have set it up, we auto post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, every one of your listings. Now, whether you configure that on your profile or not is a different matter, but if you do, that's a really great selling point when you're in a listing presentation. And then you can say, hey, I even have tools for you to get, to get more buyers for your home. So if you sort of see the conversation, they're going to expect it and welcome it, and they're going to use it because they know that you're trying to get them more business. More money for their home. So the seller's social media, the nearby homeowner letter, and the last one is the e-flyer for your database. So if you're an agent with more, like a few hundred or a few thousand leads sitting in a CRM, and you have the ability to blast out messages, I would click this copy button, which is basically copying the HTML code for an electronic version of the nearby homeowner letter. The thing about a CRM is, and I'm sure you all know this, you start capturing leads and throwing them in there, and you may or may not have any real dialogue with each one of those leads. You just captured them and you tossed them in, and maybe you can see where they're going on your website, maybe you can't. But here, when you start throwing this in front of them, you'd be surprised. I've had clients say, hey, we had 3,000 leads, not really any action. And then we pasted this in here. They can either become a buyer lead up top, or they can get their free home value down at the bottom, or we've got all these great lead links here driving to my website. I'm reactivating my lead. So if you're an agent who has a lot of leads, use the e-flyer for your database. So in the point or the goal of getting more listings, those are the 3 tools. You can use them multiple times. You can use those tools when you got it just listed, when it's under contract, when it's open house, and when it's sold. So let's talk about ads and Facebook ads. Now, we actually have been analyzing a lot of ads, meaning about $1 million of ad spend. So we have a lot of clients all over the country. About 20 new people sign up every day, and they want to run ads. So we've been analyzing about $1 million worth of ad spend almost for the whole last year. And what we decided is, when we were looking at it, we were kind of floored and excited. We're also about to start publishing a monthly number of what buyer leads cost and what seller leads cost on Facebook. We will be adding what they are costing on Google when we launch that, and that should be launched, my guess is, in about 30 days. But what I want to let you know is you can run 3 kinds of ads to get more listings. You can also run these ads to get more buyers, but I'm just going to focus. We're going to focus on listings today. So you can run a listing ad here, you can run a PDF guide ad here, and you can run a landing page ad here. What I would like you to know is the cheapest listing leads come from listing ads. The next most expensive leads for homeowners are PDF guide ads, and the most expensive listing leads are on when you run the landing page ad. So we'll click through them and we'll look at them. Now, you may not have ever used our system to run ads. When you come here the first time, it's going to ask you to connect to your Facebook business page. And you'll click through that. And then when you flip around, there'll be 3 buttons here, those green buttons. And one of them is a listing ad. So a lot of clients like to run sold ads, and this can be really effective for getting listing leads, actually pretty low cost listing leads. And you want to, let me back up, because I do this so much, I just sort of like blast by, and I want to point out something in case you don't know what it is. You can use a home that's later stage, pending, under contract, or sold. I'll leave it on sold for now. And you want to leave it on lead ads. So you may not know what this is, but a lead ad means when somebody clicks on an ad on Facebook, that this form pops up with their name, email, and phone number pre-populated from their profile. Okay. And that is really, really effective. Our clients are generating hundreds of leads, 300, 400 leads a month. But we're hearing 75 to 80% of those phone numbers are correct. You're able to text them, you're able to call them. But I was just in a conference with Remax a couple months ago, and somebody came up and said, we're converting 5% of your leads. Like, we're running a lot of ads, we've got a big team, and we're really getting some solid business out of it. I was psyched. But I just want you to know that lead ads come with pre-populated name, email, and phone number. So it is on the sold there. So let's go here and click create an ad. Now, we pre-write the ad, right? Over here on the right, this is what the ad looks like. You see it's sponsored by Listings to Leads, but since you're going to connect your Facebook account, it's going to be sponsored by your business page. Now, mine here is in Auburn, Indiana. Yours, might be in Phoenix or Tempe or wherever it is. And it will have a 15-mile radius, right? You can't shrink that because that's as tight as you can get. But listing leads are difficult to get. So sometimes there's some data points that can make this ad even more powerful. And I want to click here to show you how to do that. Down here where it says publish, you can click advanced options right above it. And when you do, you'll see that this primary text here is the same as the text over here on the right. So often, especially in the current market, homes sell super fast, right? So if you got something in contract in 4 days, you should tell the market that. If you sold above asking, you should type it here. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but when I'm typing on the left, it's showing on the right. Now, if you sold like 10K above asking or 20K or 70K or whatever, that number should be in there. If you got multiple offers, you want to let people know, because people who own their homes now who are considering selling, well, there's a lot of reasons why they're not pulling the trigger. And I'm sure you probably know more than I am. But if you can get an incentive that you're getting top dollar and doing it quickly, that's going to motivate people. So if you have those kind of data points, I would definitely recommend that you hit advanced options, type that in, and then just publish. So just in case you don't know, I'm going to go over to Facebook real quick. And this is the news feed, right? This is just the news feed. The average adult in the United States spends 45 minutes scrolling through this news feed on Facebook. And as you can see, I just clicked over to the news feed. The second or third thing you're going to see is an ad. This is an ad on something. Your energy, get your energy. But your ad is going to show up right there, assuming it's in that radius of the city that you've selected. Okay. And when they click on it, like here on that ad, it's going to say order now, but yours is going to say learn more. And this little window is going to pop up and say, hey, do you want more information? And it will be yes, but their name, email, and phone number is pre-populated. Now, that is really, I think, a serious game changer, because let me just show you how a home value ad works. And we've got all kinds of pop-up forms, right? For your open houses, for your just listed stuff. We've got all these forms that we create. But let me just show you this. This is the home value form. And if I want my home value, the first question is, what's your address? And so many people are really eager to give you their address, right? Excuse me. But when you click that green button, it kind of does its thing and it flips around and it says, hey, there's your house there in the map and your report's ready. Give us your email address to get that report. 90% of people will walk away from this page rather than give you that, okay? Which is really, disappointing, because when you're running home value ads and driving traffic, driving people to a form where they got to fill out, you're just going to end up with a bunch of addresses, okay? But when you run an ad like this with a lead form, people are so comfortable giving you their contact information. It's crazy. So when you're running an ad for a sold property, you, especially like this, like what I've done right here, these leads can often cost $6 to $7 a lead with name, email, and phone number. We even ask the question, how soon do you want to sell? If you get a lead and somebody says, I need to sell in the next 1 to 3 months, and you got their name, email, and phone number, I highly suggest you get focused on trying to convert that lead. So that's a very inexpensive way and easy way to get listing leads. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you one more way, because we just had somebody come in the mastermind group and say, he's like, I'm running ads on my pending homes, right? They're not even sold. But when, again, we just choose the property that's pending, the call to action is saying, get your free home value. Now, when I'm explaining to you that there are different prices for ads, we don't set those prices. Facebook sets that price. And they don't really know how to set the price for pending or under contract. So these leads are costing, they're like $2.50 for home value leads, which is kind of crazy. That's a really awesome rate. I do think you need to customize what you're writing here. Just, this is our default language. It is about home value, but if you can add something there again about, you know, how quickly it got into a contract, you probably can't talk about price, but you should customize that to make that work. I would test that out. It's great because we've had a number of clients come in and say they're doing these other stages, later stages, and getting lower cost listing leads. Now, if you don't have any listings at all, we've also got PDF guide ads over here. And we've got PDF guides for buyers, and we've got PDF guide ads for sellers. And if you download it, there's a little white button here. You will notice that you, the agent, are branded on every page of every PDF guide. So if you want to get this in front of the market, it's pretty easy, right? You even got a few new ones here. Short sale, what should you do? How to avoid foreclosure. We've got divorce and real estate, you know, all these topics, right, that you can run weekly if you wanted, right? Now, we would really suggest that you're running something like this once a week. But I'm going to just do this one, 12 mistakes to avoid when selling a home. And all you got to do is click on it, and it pre-writes the ad, right? So you could write in the name of city, right? And all you need to do is click publish. And this ad will go out, and they will be able to download that report. And like I said, you're on every page. It, you know, instantly. We're going to send them a link. They can download it. There you go. You've got their name, phone number, and email, and how quickly they want to sell. And they've got a report where you're branded on every page. Now, we do put a budget here of $50. And I want to kind of point out that these leads often cost $10 to $12 a lead. So you won't see a lot of leads from this, right? You might see 4 or 5. But Facebook feels like this is a higher value. They're charging agents more. It is auction based, so it's not really a flat number. What they charge you in Arizona, they're going to charge people differently in New York. It's just all over the country. The numbers are not flat. They're not the same. So the last one, the last kind of ad that you can run is a landing page ad. Okay. And landing pages, I'm going to start with the easy one that we kind of have all seen before. Let's see if I got it here. Yeah, free home values. And I want to talk a little bit about this. First, I want you to know that these are the most expensive leads because agents have been using this for a long time, and Facebook knows that agents like them and highly value them. So these leads can be $12 to $15 a lead when running an ad like this. Now, I do want to let you know, I'm going to kind of slow down and talk a lot about this kind of ad because it's not very effective. And I can tell you the way to make it effective. Okay. So first, let's talk about why it's not effective. Well, one, agents have been running this ad on Facebook for nearly 7 years now, all over the country. And people have kind of seen it and just are, they're not interested in seeing it anymore. The other thing is, this is a really generic ad, right? And you don't want to run with generic when you're talking about home values. Like, you need to be area specific. So let me show you, I've got a few landing pages for, let's see, I think I've got one here. Yeah, for Brookhaven. Okay. So I've got a home valuation landing page, and I'll show you how we get it created. But I'm going to click create an ad, and it's going to talk about Brookhaven, right? So Brookhaven is it's kind of a golf community. It's gated. People want to live in it. And, there are places like this where you really want to be dominating. It's a farm area, right? So this place is in Farms Branch, Texas. Okay. I can spell branch properly. Really? Let's see. Hold on, guys. Brookhaven. Farmers Branch, sorry. So I want to show you like what happens when you try to do this, because agents do this. They'll create a landing page for a particular market, and then they'll run an ad. And I want you to understand what is going on when you do that. You notice that 15-mile radius? You can't get any tighter than that. And that's the biggest problem, because let me show you where Brookhaven is. It's a suburb, I think, of Dallas. And this is Brookhaven on the map here, right? And really, if you kind of stretch out just like a little bit, that's really the target that you're after. But when you run a 15-mile radius ad, you're basically covering this whole area that I am talking about. And that's not good, because if somebody lives over here in Valley Ranch and they see it, or it says Preston Hollow, if they click on it, they're chewing up your money. They can chew up $12 or $15 of your $50. And then it's gonna keep talking about Brookhaven. So it's really difficult to target. Now, I do want to mention that there is a way to make this effective again. And you heard me talk earlier about the Chris Winstead, who is using the list from Remine for mailing the letter, right? The nearby homeowner letter. So he had a list of people who have equity that are in his neighborhood. Well, you can take that same list, and now you can go over to listings to leads, and you can upload it, right? And this is called Facebook retargeting. So you do need to turn on retargeting. You can see that there's this little highlighted light green button here. When you first connect, there's going to be something that says accept the custom audience terms, and then you refresh it, it'll say turn on retargeting. And when you do that, you turn on one of the most powerful things in Facebook advertising, which is retargeting. And I'm going to explain it to you. But the first thing is you create an audience. So if you've got a spreadsheet of all the people in whatever town that you want, you just give it a name and call it homeowners, right? And then you upload the list here in a CSV or Excel, right? The format of what that spreadsheet should look like is right here. So if you're buying that list to do a mailing to get listings in mailing a letter, you can use the same list and upload it to Facebook, right? And Facebook will then go, oh, okay. So and that, by the way, will live in your personal Facebook account, your ad account. It will not live in listings to leads. It will be there. Even if you stop using listings to leads, that list will be there. It's a really great thing to do. Again, if you're an agent that has many leads in their CRM, if you're an agent with more than 1,000 leads, you should export those leads. If you bought leads from Zillow or any other company, put them all together and get them in this audience so that you can retarget this, right? So if you say, you know what, I'm just going to imagine that maybe someday somebody in this town is going to get a divorce. I'm going to click create an ad on divorce and real estate. And I will then type in the name of the town, but I'm going to click retarget current leads. If you type in L2L and you've turned this on, we will actually create a file of all your leads. If you created your own custom audience of your old CRM leads, you can target those people too. And if you go buy a list from Remine or any other company that sells you that list, and you call it Brookhaven Homeowners, you can target those people who live there. And that makes home value ads and any ad way more powerful, right? So I kind of jumped around here so it would make more sense. If we are doing a home value ad for Brookhaven and we know that Brookhaven is in Farmers Branch and we can't target it, well, now with a custom audience that we have to create, we can now target those people again. And this becomes a really powerful way of capturing listing leads. It is the most expensive way, but it definitely works. So we're actually getting great results from seeing that. So the last section I want to show you regarding getting listings is the landing page section. And you know, where you are, most of you are operating in multiple different farm markets, right? Not just one town. And so you actually want to have a landing page for every market where you want business, right? I've got one here for Pleasant Hill. Pleasant Hill is 5 minutes north of me, right? It's a great area, a lot of homes selling, kind of medium priced homes. And there's a sweet new mall there. You can see the theater, all the restaurants. Everybody in Pleasant Hill knows this place. There's about 30,000 people that live there, okay? So you want to customize and make sure that you've got a picture on here. You don't want this to be generic because you're kind of asking people who don't know you personally, can you have their information? Can you have their name and address? And, you know, and that's, you know, you need to build some trust. And an easy way to build trust is by just showing them a picture of, hey, I know your area. This is Release Valley. And Release Valley is right next door to me. It's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. It has only one road in, and it's got the swimming club. So if you have a picture of the swimming club on the front page and say, hey, I can help you get your home value, well, people are going to understand that you know that area. And basically, you probably have a handful of areas where you are trying to build business. Go into the landing page section, click Property Valuation Plus, type in the name of the area. You just need to put in the name. It could even be a neighborhood. You saw that I have a Brookhaven one. Brookhaven is a country club neighborhood, right? A golf club neighborhood. And then click Create Landing Page. When you click Create Landing Page, it's going to give you this generic landing page, right? And unfortunately, you know, Scott and I, we bought this picture of like a laptop and a coffee cup because we figure everybody has one. And that's true, everybody probably does have one. But it doesn't instill confidence that you actually know their area. So whenever you come to this page, the first thing to do is to upload an image, right? And you upload an image, in this case of Summit, and then you're ready to market. Now, we've been talking about that Brookhaven one. So let's go into edit. I want to show you one more tool that's in this page. It's under advanced options. And it says, oh yeah, here, I just want to point out, you can actually embed information on our landing pages. I've got a video here of YouTube talking about the country club. You can actually create your own videos. I don't know if you do that. I don't know if you do it yourself with your smartphones or if you do it with professional videographers. But if you get it to YouTube, you can just copy and paste it and it'll live right here on this landing page, and that can be helpful for you. But under advanced options is print marketing. And this letter here, you can customize. And I would definitely recommend you know, it basically says, you know, May home sales are in for Brookhaven, you know, 40 homes sold last month. and you could say the high, was here, and that's, 300 for the year, something like that. Keep this on one page. It's pretty simple because the next thing it says is that affected your home value. And guess what? Go over there and get your free home value. Again, this is something that you download and then you mail. Okay. Now, these letters are pretty effective, but I do want to point something out. And I'm gonna jump over to the nearby homeowner letter because we had been talking about this earlier. When I showed you, and I could go in the mastermind group and talk to you about Chris Sears and April Pless and Dustin Fox and all these people that have been using our nearby homeowner letter. And I got to tell you, those guys have been growing, but they've been doing it all manually because that's all we could do was we could only offer a manual design, right? So they would come here, they'd get the nearby homeowner letter, they would download it, they'd stuff it in their own envelopes. Some of our clients handwrite or pay people to handwrite the addresses. They put them in these like banana yelling envelopes or baby blue, whatever looks custom so that people will open it. And then they get high quality listing leads, right? We talked about this earlier. Well, in about 2 weeks, we're going to launch right here on this page that you're looking at an integration with a company called Express Copy. And in that, they basically have that electronic data set of homeowners. And you'll be able to say, I want to send out 100 or 150 or 200 pieces to this zip code. And I want the homeowners to have 5 years equity or 10 years equity, and click and send, and you don't have to touch it. That's for us. We're really excited about this because that letter right there is the #1 way of getting high quality listing leads. We know this because our clients have been using it for years, and God bless them for doing all the hard work of getting it into their market because we can't. The #1 way of getting buyer leads is to run a Facebook ad on a home that is sold. And while I'm not talking about how to get buyer leads right now, it's very easy to run this ad. You click on Facebook and you click create an ad and boom, it's done. If you're somebody, by the way, if you're somebody with like 5 to 10 listings or more, you might not have time to come in here and run ads. You can actually go to settings and click ads here and have us run ads for you automatically. You set your monthly budget. You tell us what statuses you want us to advertise, and that's it. You save it, and we will run the ads automatically. We're big fans of Facebook. As I mentioned earlier, we're about to launch integration of Google. We think that the combination of Google, our tools for getting more listings, and our ability to help you capture leads and brand yourself on Facebook, it's unbeatable, frankly. That's my story for today, guys. One more thing. We are about to launch a refresh version of our listing presentation. It's over here on the dashboard, and you'll be able to download it on this page. But I would definitely recommend that you watch the videos that were not created by my partner. They're actually created by agents like you, showing other people how they're presenting our system so that they can win every listing presentation that they're on. That's my story, guys. Thanks for having me. Robert, any questions out there? I don't see any in the chat panel. Anybody's welcome to unmute themselves and I can answer questions for you.
One thing I do want to point out is on those PDF guides that you have, you can also download those or use those in Spanish too, correct?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So if you go here, it's in, and while you can change it to Spanish, it will translate. We've already translated all of this. Let's give it a second. What's it waiting for there? Oh, maybe. Let me go to seller guides. Spanish. So it translates everything inside of the report, but also when you say, hey, I want to actually run the ad. Oh, we're on PDF guide. So you can download them here. But if we want to go over here and run a PDF guide in Spanish, the ad is also written in Spanish, right? So let's go here, PDF guide ads. in the PDF guides where you download them, but here, if I say seller guides and I translate it to Spanish, the content of each report is translated, and the ad, as you see over on the right, has been translated as well. So all you got to do is type in the name of your town. And with that, we're actually, so I don't know, we're in the national Remax platform, and we're about to push into Latin, Central America, and Caribbean. So we are about 90% fully translated on the whole platform. So if you do have agents that really focus on Spanish and want to just operate in Spanish, let me know, and we can turn that on for them, where the whole platform is already translated. Any other questions?
Okay, doesn't look like we have any other questions. Vince, we want to thank you for taking the time and giving us a personalized training here. Greatly appreciated.
My pleasure. Let me know, if there are any questions, or if we need more calls like this. We can focus on other parts of the system if we need, more buyers or things like that. I'm always available.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thanks, Robert.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.